Hi everyone, Jen and Tanya Rita here, coming to you from the pond, where we've been nearly 90 days every day in here. And both Tanya Rita and I come from years of practicing a variety of disciplines for 40, 90, and even 120 days. However, at this point in our life, and with this intense of a practice, this cold soaking, it has definitely been the most transformational 90 days of practice that we've had. I mean, I'm speaking for both of us, but I know Tanya Rita agrees in our life.
Yeah, and we chose this sort of not on purpose, but it actually turned out to be a really good match for the transformational process that's going on in our lives, given that we've just moved continents and countries and cultures. And one of the things that my favorite teacher, Caroline Mays, talks about is that our discipline, our practice, really needs to energetically match the intensity of whatever is going on in our lives. So when we are in a really intense alchemical transmutation of who we are, whether it's come about because life threw something unexpected at us, like a death of a loved one or loss of our home or business or anything like that, or whether we've chosen that change like Jen and I have, we really need to choose a practice that matches that level of intensity so that whatever we might be doing also places us at the kind of core of a pretty intense shift or discipline. And definitely, I know I can speak for both Jen and I, this practice is way outside of any comfort zone one might have. You know, it's minus 15 Celsius outside right now, and the water is never very warm. So as uncomfortable and unpalatable or unappetizing as this might seem when we are contemplating doing it, every time we choose to actually go through with it and come here, we are actually practicing depositing some energy into our bank of energy that amounts to our willpower or our stamina, our ability to withstand things that are difficult. So again, whether we've chosen those challenges or the challenges have chosen us, the practice is here to support us in that.
Yes, and I can attest that, again, this is by far the most intense 90-day practice that I've done, and the most transformational.
And I'm actually planning on a web seminar or course series that was kind of inspired by this practice, and it'll be titled The Alchemy of Discipline. I'll tell you more about it in other videos when I'm not shivering in a pond, but basically the idea is just everything that we just spoke about. How can discipline support us in strengthening our willpower so that we might be more aligned with our life's purpose and our destiny path? I'm looking forward to sharing that with you.
Woo-wee! It is cold even without being in the ice plunge. I think it's like minus 19 Celsius today. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the course without freezing, sitting in the ice plunge. So the reason I chose a 4-week format for this course is that comes to 28 days. And as some of you might know, 28 days is kind of one of the magical numbers of repetition to begin to anchor in new habits, which is why a lot of rehab programs or recovery programs are 28 days when you go do inpatient treatments. So I wanted to kind of use that as a foundation at the very minimum. And during the 4 weeks, we're going to each week look at slightly different aspects of the alchemy of discipline and how it's working in our own lives. During the first week, we will look at what is your relationship with discipline. Does it conjure up images of like authority and routine and something that's boring and hard and not so fun? Or is it something that you kind of get psyched about? Like, yeah, that really helps propel me somewhere and I see results. And we'll also look at, where are you in the alchemical process right now, given everything that's going on in the world and what's going on for you. During the second week, we are going to really focus on building your own disciplined practice, whatever that is. It might be ice plunging, it might be meditation, it might be doing the dishes every day or going for a walk, making sure that you have your house clean and your bed made, whatever it is. It could be very, very simple. The whole point being that you are going to stick with it without going into auto mode, where you're like just sort of like a robot going through the motions. And at the end, you can say you did it, but really, you weren't really very present for it. And then during the third week, we will examine all the lovely ways that we tend to start self-sabotaging, or how life starts to show up with all kinds of tests to really kind of check our resolve and see how serious we are. There's always going to be tests. Sometimes they come in a form of something that feels like, well, that was really outside of my control, so there's nothing I could do, which may or may not be true. And even when it is, what do we do about it? How do we engage even with that in a way that's part of our process? And then during the fourth week, we're really going to work on shifting our whole thought process around this in a way that takes it from being something that we do as a time-limited thing so that we can get to a goal, only to fall back to our old habits. How do we actually really view it as a transmutive alchemical process that ends up shifting our very biology, our brain neurology, our body chemistry, our emotions, so that it actually becomes a lifetime shift or a lifestyle shift, and a shift that begins to move us more directly toward our destiny path. We're always on our destiny path. Some of us love to meander and take side trips. And when we create discipline, we really are able to stick to that path a little bit more directly without so many sort of time wasters. I'm really excited about offering this and walking the path right along with you. So I welcome any questions you might have, comments, and also at this point, if you have any thoughts or requests about content during the 4 weeks. I'll be posting more about the price, the timing, the details of the 1.5 hour long group interactive sessions, and the in-between 30-minute videos from me that will be prompting us toward the next week. And homework assignments and such. But for now, I just hope that you consider joining us. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.